Coming up on Shaw TV, previewing the upcoming golf season. The stage at the Citadel lights up with the Von Trapp family, and we sit down and chat with Eric Sane.
Local, 24/7. News, events, connected, current, information, personalities, entertainment, sports, interviews, weather. Only on Shaw TV.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Kimberly Wynn. We're down here in Jurassic Forest in Gibbons, Alberta. It's their opening weekend, so come down, rain or shine. It's very, very fun in there. There's only 2 rules, though. First, no smoking, because apparently that causes extinction. As well, don't pet the dinosaurs, because they can bite off more than they can chew. I'll see you inside, but first we're going to head over to Tim Dancy as he is over at Mayor Mandel's State of the City luncheon. See you inside.
Edmonton Symphony musicians created atmosphere as a record crowd of over 1,500 Chamber of Commerce and business people assembled to hear Mayor Stephen Mandel's State of the City address.
7 years ago, we were a city organization with no big plans that avoided dealing with significant challenge and left our true potential unexplored.
The mayor touched on business development, downtown renewal, expanding LRT, new arena, future arts growth, public safety, and council cooperation. He expressed pleasure in growing multiculturalism and the need to internationally market Edmonton and Alberta more intensely in future.
When I think of all we've accomplished, I see how much the expectations and capabilities of our city have changed along the way. At our core, we are about basic service, but in a modern world, a competitive city not only manages its infrastructure, attracts labor, markets its wares, and addresses fundamental quality of life issues.
Following the Mayor's State of the City address, it's obvious many Chamber of Commerce members love the job that Stephen Mandel has done over the last number of years. Mayor Mandel, conversely, is really happy that Conservatives remain in power in Alberta.
Well, we had a great relationship with Premier Stelmach and now with Premier Redford. They really want to understand the city of Edmonton. They care about the city of Edmonton and the citizens. They want to see our city grow. They want to see the entire province go. You know, some of the comments by some of the Wild Rose people, I think, gave me concern. But more so that the Wild Rose didn't have any vision for Edmonton. They only had a vision for Edmonton to take away from Edmonton, and that gave me great concern.
Among provincial Conservative Party Mandel supporters is newly elected MLA David Dorward, a former campaign rival of Mandel's.
Oh, he's an excellent mayor, absolutely. You know, he spoke today passionately about 7 years ago and how things have changed in the last 7 years and how he said, we're not going to put up with this anymore.
Chamber of Commerce members like the bigger picture.
So the Edmonton Chamber is very much a program about how do we do business and build a common interest around Northern Alberta, be externally focused on export, you know, the Pacific Corridor, for example. So I was very happy that, yes, not only did we get a very progressive government, I feel we have one that broadly represents the total north of Alberta and Edmonton included. We're not, so for many years we were at odds, almost adversarial, with what the rest of the province is doing.
We must be willing to put proper long-term resources behind a true effort to sell this city to the world.
He's a real salesman. Of course, previous Mayor Bill was a great salesman, but Stephen has a great vision for the city. It's a very humanitarian vision. It's a very broad-based vision. And I think the business community relates to it, and I think it was quite exciting, particularly in the context of last night's election, because I see a lot of similar themes.
It's all about the complexity of managing one of the world's fastest growing economic regions. Tim Dancy, Shaw TV, Capital Region.
Thank you very much, Tim. You're as old as these dinosaurs. Hey, no, kidding. He's our senior reporter. But no, I'm not kidding. Christina, she's one of our interpretive guides here at Jurassic Forest in Gibbons, Alberta. Christina, how are you doing today?
Good, thanks.
So interpretive guiding, so basically what does that mean? Are you taking school children on the path and just explaining which dinosaurs they're looking at and the history of it?
Yeah, basically. So the guides are meant to be the person that, you know, is a friendly face that has all the information, can provide more than what is on the sides. Or the signs, sorry. So yeah, if you have any questions about the dinosaurs as well, most of us know a lot about, individual birds or insects in the forest, so we usually carry something around in our pocket that we can show people, and just that friendly, approachable face with all of the information that you might want to know.
Absolutely. Did you take courses in paleontology?
Yes, I have my bachelor's degree in paleontology, and I'm actually going to start a master's in the fall. So.
Oh, so you'll be doctor very soon then?
A while.
A couple of years. Yeah. What do we have behind us here?
This here is a Triceratops, so kind of one of the more iconic dinosaurs. We find this dinosaur a lot in Alberta, as well in Saskatchewan. Probably actually one of the last dinosaurs to ever roam the earth. And as well, we do have hard evidence for interaction with T-Rex. We find T-Rex poop that has Triceratops bones in it, and sometimes we find injured Triceratops with evidence of teeth marks from T-Rex.
Oh, very, very cool. It's also, it makes noise and it opens its mouth too, like "Arr!" So it's one of the animatronic ones, eh? Yeah. How many do you have around the forest right now?
There's over 40. We are actually getting a couple new ones in sometime in May. Oh, there we go.
There it is.
That's our other fella. Yeah, so we have over 40 right now. I think there's 43.
Okay. We'll have more with Christina afterwards. She's going to take us on the path throughout Jurassic Forest later in the show. But first, an organization that fights racism in Edmonton is facing budget cuts. So I caught up with them recently to talk about their future.
We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop.
We've come a long way since this fateful speech back in 1963, when Martin Luther King Jr. set out to abolish discrimination. Here in Canada, we're known for our melting pot of cultures, but racism has not disappeared. In Edmonton, the Centre for Race and Culture is dedicated to programming, research, and education that address those stereotypes.
A lot of us don't understand that there is racism and think people are over-exaggerating and making things up, and also we don't know how to deal with it very well, and tend to sweep things under the carpet because we're nervous about it.
And according to Charlene, racism isn't always blatant, in your face, or obvious.
The kind of racism that's very common is the subtle and the unconscious racism, which means that overall people of color, visible minority people, get hired less, get a less of a quality of education, earn less money, have less secure employment, less access to housing.
The organization targets demographics of all kinds, working with organizations and volunteers. One of the programs is called Peace Ambassadors.
It educates young people about anti-racism, anti-oppression, and it provides them with tools, with peaceful conflict resolution tools, to resolve conflict should they ever experience it.
Unfortunately, Peace Ambassadors has been cut since its inception in 2003. Even though her program has ended, Karen still has one hope for the future.
Because we are racialized, people view us differently, and they have all these stereotypes that they hold about people who are racialized. They all have these hidden biases that a lot of people don't even know that they act upon, and those impact people like me. Those impact those students that I lived and worked with all the time. And you know, people think that race is just a color, and I would love for us to reach to a state in Canada and the world where race would just really be a color. But when you come from the opposite side, where you live the experience of the impacts of people looking at your race and treating you differently, consciously or unconsciously, because race becomes much more than a color.
The organization is facing massive federal budget cuts, about $500,000. Although the money is being taken away, many of their programs will stop at nothing to keep fighting.
One of them is called the Cultural Crossroads program, which is a program that focuses on educating organizations about issues of cultural diversity, how to be culturally competent, anti-racism education, how to advance equity issues within an organization, and that program will continue to run.
To learn more about the organization and how you can get involved, head on over to their website. Kimberly Wynn, Shaw TV, Capital Region. You're looking at the Iguanodon over here at the Jurassic Forest. Sounds like a sushi bowl. Hey, Aaron? Kind of.
A little bit.
Probably not as tasty, though. Aaron is another interpretive guide here at Jurassic Forest. Aaron, how are you?
I'm quite good, thank you.
And it's a little bit chilly, but that's okay. We're still enjoying some of the sights and sounds of Jurassic Forest over here. So Iguanodon, what's the history of this guy?
So when they first found him, he had his thumb positioned just above his skull like this. So it looked like he had a little spike on his skull. They call him Iguanodon because his skull looked a little bit like an iguana when they first found it.
Okay, I was about to ask.
Later on, they found different skeletons. The spike was actually down here by their hand, and that's when they figured out that the spike is actually on the thumb, not on the head. So at first, they called him Iguanodon because the first one they found, they said, if you squint, it looks a little bit like an iguana's head. So.
And how old are these dinosaurs, would you say?
Off the top of my head, I don't remember how old the Iguanodon is, but generally the number is about 65 million years old.
Now, he's pretty much to scale, hey? The same size as the bones would have been?
All the dinosaurs that are really, really big are just their models are a little bit small. Everybody else, though, they're about to scale, as accurate to scale as we can get them.
All right, right on. We'll have more with Aaron afterwards from Jurassic Forest coming up after the break.